Come on in, everybody. I have a kitty in here, and and he is loud. I got to get my microphone on. I don't know if it's a boy. His name is Buster. Kitty, 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 kitty. I don't know where he is. He's being quiet now. So y'all come on in here. Come on in. Let me get the chat up. Justin had dinner with this construction worker who has a business, builds roads, and he built the road to get back in to an area that's usually off limits to the world. I haven't been back there. I've looked down upon this reservoir before. And he said, Mom, he was the humblest man I've ever met. So Justin wrote about his experience with him and how the man was just doing what he could. This is a Bob Mackey. I buy things on eBay, and I saw this purple, and I had to have it a few years ago. I love this. Anyway, y'all, get on in here. Get on in here. We just had our Freeman Gas Company has gotten some help from South Carolina or Georgia. I don't know where they came from. But our tank is full. We'll get our water containers tomorrow. Y'all, they put in it was $444.45 of propane in our tank. It was 103 gallons of propane. And I'm pretty sure it filled us up as much as we can be filled. You have to leave a little space. But that'll help us. That'll get us through several days if we had to. And we've learned how to ration it, not use it all at once and all day and all night, and to let the generator rest some. And I just felt 444. If you get up in the middle of the night and you see the clock, if you wake up and look at the clock, it's 444. That's my cue. That's my cue to just listen. Whatever God's got to say to you. So I took $444 as being a message from God. A message from God. We had the money. Robert's already written the check, getting it in the mail. We had people come up, and the truck couldn't get turned around in our driveway. So it was a much bigger truck than we usually have in our area because there's just not much turnaround space in our driveway. And he went all the way down the driveway and backed all the way up the driveway to put the fuel in our tank. And we're thankful for him coming up from Georgia or South Carolina, wherever he came from. We're just thankful. So what I want to talk about this afternoon is, and I was watching Homestead Heart, and I just love Marie and Mr. H. I found them right after the lockdowns, and here was a young woman and her husband, and they always they had 4-H stuff on their shirts, and I used to be in 4-H. I went to 4-H camp, and the beauty of what these two people do, they moved out into Warner Robins, Georgia. They're south of Atlanta, I think. I looked it up the other night, and they took a plot of land and they started growing their animals and chickens and turkeys and processing chickens and turkeys and doing all kinds of things. Growing, they coined the phrase "grow your groceries." And Marie teaches everybody, Mrs. H teaches everybody how to can and make jams and jellies and grow your own food. They share their lives with us. And I just fell in love with their message of being prepared. Now, I've been prepared since I was a young mother. Just we grew a garden. We would buy a half of a beef at a time. We were prepared. And I learned to sew. I taught myself how to can. I got a ball canning book. I don't know where I found it. Don't have a clue. Because you didn't have the internet back in the late 70s. But I taught myself how to can. I had a Betty Crocker, Better Homes and Gardens, I don't know, the red checkered cookbook. But it didn't have canning in it. Taught myself how to cook because all I could make was spaghetti. Justin's Granny Elizabeth and Granddaddy Ellie taught me how to make biscuits. They taught me a lot of things. They only had the one child, Justin's dad, and it was precious. They treated me like I was their child. And we had a stocked pantry. We had a hall closet that had more stocks of things we needed. I got those 3 books right behind me, right there, that are all about being prepared, having a 2 years worth of pantry. You know, having a pantry that's 2 years old, that has enough food for you to last for 2 years. That's powerful stuff. That is powerful stuff. Between the freezer and a pantry and, your inventory of canning supplies and the stuff you need to can. I don't can much anymore. But I have canned goods, I have dry goods, I have flour, sugar, I have the basics, and I could survive. We could survive as a family. The key, as Mr. H was saying, yeah, you have to have food, water, and shelter. It's just the basic stuff. Food, water, and shelter. And food is great, but my neighbor built a big old fire when he didn't have electricity over there and started cooking things out of his freezer. Yeehaw. He was cooking everything out of his freezer and sharing it with everybody. We had a generator keeping our freezer going. But having the supplies on hand that you need, having a water filtering system, they make some good ones. They make a pitcher that's really good that is by Life Straw. We've got Life Straws. If we needed to drink out of a ditch, we could do that with this Life Straw. You got to be careful. You have to be careful. You need to have water sterilization tablets. You need it. Justin told the story of this man that had the construction company. They had to get a road back in several miles to be able to get to the place where Asheville's water was destroyed. The water coming down the mountain ripped out 36-inch pipes. I'm just blown away by what they did, what they accomplished. It's taken them 3 weeks of working. They were dependent upon a gravel company, a rock company, working 16, 18-hour days, crushing rock and stone and bringing it to them to build these roads. They were ready. They were ready. They put their equipment, they were already working on a job real close to this area. And the people in the know, and he knew that there was going to be problems. I knew there was going to be problems. You know what I did on Thursday night before the storm hit the next morning? I downloaded several books to my phone so I'd have something to read. Several books. I knew we wouldn't have the internet because when the power goes out, our internet goes out. But Justin's fixed that. We will have internet now. We will have Starlink. It might not be as good as my fiber, but it'll be something. He bought it this morning. He bought the regular one, not the mini. The mini is super expensive. More than twice the price of the regular. We're getting prepared. Again, we found flaws in our preparation. We didn't have backup to our backup. We never expected our backup, our cell phone service, which is my backup for internet, to go out. And it went out for a week. For a week. The first text I got was from my friend, Patty, that I went to high school with. We were neighbors. And she said, "Are y'all okay up there?" And I said, "You're the first text I've gotten." And yes, we're good. So, folks, the most important thing you can have in your preps is right up here. As a man came over to our booth one time at a homeschooling event. I don't know where we were. I don't even remember where we were. I think we might have been in Virginia. And it was Andrew Pudawa. And he had a curriculum for English and stuff for homeschoolers. And he wanted to know what we did. We had this big sign that's in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. It says, "Are you living in chaos? Can't have anyone over syndrome?" He asked me, "What in the world do y'all do?" And Justin explained to him, "We teach people how to take care of their homes and families." He said, "Teach them how to cook." And I just died laughing. I said, "We try." He said, "They don't even know how to make a pan of rice. They don't know. They don't know how to cook from scratch. Because if they cooked from scratch, they could save a lot of money." Y'all, there's no excuse not to know how to cook. There's just none. Everywhere on the internet, on YouTube even. But here's the thing. You can't wait till the power goes out to surf the net for information. Do you know what I have in my library? I have all the Foxfire books. I think there's 13 of them. The books that these children in high school interviewed old timers back in the 70s interviewed that are people that are gone now about how to clean a hog, how to raise a hog, how to milk a cow, how to can fruits and vegetables, how to do certain things. It's all in these books. I have them on my shelf. I have a book on homesteading on my shelf. I have a book on plumbing on my shelf. Robert and I have knowledge. We're capable people to be able to do things. When Justin was telling about his neighbor Fletcher, who the town is named for his people, I knew about twisting trees don't make good lumber because I used to run a sawmill and make pallets, and they're only good for pulpwood. That's it. Because you can't make a straight board out of them because it's going to fall apart. But they're going to log all those trees. Justin's going to have fun watching it. I've sold trees from the farm. Y'all, I don't know, many of you may not have known, but I used to farm a lot of acres, 1,500 acres. You learn things when you're farming. You have to do things. You have to have knowledge of how an engine works and how a combine works and how a water pump works and all kinds of things. But having the knowledge, what's up here? And many of you are here to get your house clean. You don't realize a lot of the problem with your home is what's going on in your head. You're telling yourself, I don't have time. You've let perfectionism take over your brain. You're scared, and we cannot be afraid right now. We have to be empowered to stand up to the evil one, get the clutter out of our homes so that we can do what we need to do to take care of our families and our friends. Yeah. Patera, she and her husband have volunteered. They took some friends up into East Tennessee and Western North Carolina over the weekend. She has capable boys that know how to fend for themselves. She's not afraid. But you got to know how to cook. Start with one thing, like making a pan of biscuits. If you have some flour and Patera can make biscuits with 2 ingredients: flour, self-rising flour, and cream. As you can. They're the prettiest looking biscuits I've ever seen. The cream has the fat in it, which you'd put some kind of fat in it, lard or something. And she make biscuits. She gives them one last fold so they open up nicely. I never saw that before. I learned something from Patera. And I'm 20-some years older than she is. You can always learn when you're ready to learn. So y'all, I've got a whole playlist on YouTube. I've spent hours building this playlist of the videos I've done on how to cook from scratch. It's linked in the flight plan every single day. How to cook from scratch. Don't wait any longer on learning how to cook. You have no excuse. There's young people all over the internet, people that have gone to culinary school, that are teaching you how to put a few things together. There's one lady who teaches college students how to whip things up in their dorm room. Girls, watch Patera's stuff. 2 ingredient biscuits and variations. Yum. You can turn them into scones. You can turn them into cinnamon rolls. There's lots of stuff we can do. I've got cinnamon roll recipe. made with a simple roll dough, and you can turn it into cinnamon rolls. So please, you have to have knowledge to be able to feed your family. If you've got dry goods in your pantry, rice and beans, a lot of people survive all the time on rice and beans. Rice and beans. It's a good meal for a lot of people. But when you go through an emergency like we've just gone through, you still got to replenish the pantry. And we've already done that, what we could get. I could cook on my fireplace. I could cook on my wood stove if it's wintertime. I have a grill outside that I can cook on. I have a little grill that I could build a small fire in with wood. They're not quiet this afternoon. They're underneath my feet right now, somewhere. So, as Homestead Heart we're talking about, you got to have the knowledge. And that's what we found out during the worst part of the storm. People didn't know how to run a generator. People didn't know how to save water from rain. If they'd put some buckets out when it was coming this storm, they would have had water. But you don't think about your water going out. That's usually protected underground. But the ground was in an upheaval. It's not anything about luck, Miranda, about making biscuits. And I don't make big fluffy biscuits. I don't do it. But the secret to biscuits is not working the dough too much. Stir it up, pat it out. Don't roll it out. You just pat it out, cut it out with a can or a cookie cutter or something. I don't use butter in mine. I use an oil. But start with one thing, making biscuits. It's easy. Then learn how to cook a. Did you know the recipe for making pinto beans is on the bag? You got to wash them real good and you got to get any rocks out of them. You got to wash your rice real well too. I learned that from the gaming foodie. She says if you don't wash your rice, you're not doing it right. She's a mess. She has a new baby girl. So learn how to cook. You just start with one thing. Don't be afraid to mess up a pan of biscuits. What's the worst that's going to happen? You feed them to the birds? You've made some friends. Go look. If you just look at our playlist for learning how to cook, I talk to you like you're standing right there beside me. I teach you how to cut an onion, how to peel potatoes. So, folks, don't think that the storm is over. The storm right now is when you go to the grocery store. Every time you go to the grocery store and you're buying all this frozen processed foods, what are you feeding your family? If you know what you're putting in your family's tummy, somebody this morning I saw a short little video where he went to Costco and bought a beef loin and cut it up into steaks, sliced it up, put it in vacuum sealed bags with butter and an herb like rosemary or something, sealed it up, put it in the freezer. And then you know how he cooked it? He put it in a pot of water at a specific degree. It's called sous vide. I think he did it at 130 degrees. And guess what? All he had to do was sear it in a skillet to finish it off. Sear it in a skillet. He had steaks ready to go. That's great for people on a keto diet. You can find how to make tortillas from scratch with a little water and some flour. The secret is letting them sit and then taking them and either rolling them out or smushing them flat and throwing them on a hot pan or on top of your stove. We should have named the little girl cat Nosy. So, y'all, get some knowledge. Get some books that have knowledge that you can glean from. Have I read all the Foxfire books? No, but I've looked at every one of them. I've looked at every single one of them so I would know what's in there. But don't be afraid. There's some great cooks on the internet, not just my channel. There's some great cooks. I have one rule for making pot roast. The pot roast is only as good as your gravy. I have a cat playing in the trash can. Anyway, folks, I love you all. Be good, kind, and sweet. Get some knowledge. Practice some new things. It's not going to come unless you try. And if you're going to learn to cook, get your kids in there and teach them how to cook. Makes all the difference. She's turned the garbage can over. Now the other one's going to help. Okay, folks, I love you all. Be thankful for what you have. Replenish your stocks. Replenish what you've used up. Our tank is ready to go again. We might not have to have it filled for another year, but hey, it's full right now, and we're ready for any storm that comes our way. And we're so thankful. Even though we didn't personally get hurt in the storm has hurt everyone. It has hurt everybody. Robert had a meeting of the road committee yesterday, impromptu, down at the bridge. And they're going to get four more bags of concrete, and they're going to start doing some things to the bridge. They're working hard to keep things going. Life is good, y'all. God will take care of you. My granny always said that God will take care of you if you do what's right. You got to be righteous in your walk. Stay focused on the Lord. And sometimes you just have to slow down and listen. Slow down and listen. I'll see y'all later. Be good, kind, and sweet. And I'll be back on here tomorrow at 11 o'clock. It's Friday. Can you believe it's already Friday? Time flies. When you're having fun, even when you're not having fun, time flies. Although the week we were without the internet and power was a hard week for me. Because I couldn't talk to you. I couldn't let you know that I was okay. Justin did. He let y'all know that we were okay. But it took us Sunday. The storm happened on Friday morning, and we'd had 22 inches of rain by then. Uh, and we got a hold of him. We had to drive downtown to our new emergency management station, a fire station, to get any internet, to get any way to call him. We had one, like a half a bar. No, it's not Friday today, but tomorrow will be, because we had question and answer day today. I don't know what the cat's got. What is the cat drug up now? Better go rest. I think I'm rescuing the kitty litter scoop. I'll see y'all later. Yeah, give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment. Go to our website, y'all. If you can't get to the missions from the link, go to our website, scroll down to the carousel, slide it over till you see the Christmas link, and then open up that page. And on the bottom left-hand corner of that page, you will see holiday missions. Click that. Today's is already up there. It was up there at midnight. I love you all. See you later. Thank you for all your donations.